The more you focus on yourself, the stronger your mind grows. My brothers and sisters in life, we often look at what others are doing. We compare, we compete, and sometimes we even become envious. But the reality is, the more you focus on others, the more you lose sight of yourself. The moment you stop worrying about what they are achieving, what they are saying, and what they are thinking about you, that is the moment you set yourself free. Understand this, your mind is like a garden. If you plant the right seeds, if you nurture it with positivity, if you protect it from the weeds of negativity, it will flourish. But if you are always looking at someone else's garden, wondering why their flowers are blooming and yours are not, you will never water your own. You will never see the beauty of what you can grow. Every time you focus on yourself, your growth, your peace, your well-being, you strengthen your mind. You begin to see things differently. Challenges that once seemed impossible now become stepping stones. Words that once hurt you no longer have power over you. Situations that used to control you now feel small, because you are looking ahead, not around. People will talk, my brothers and sisters. They will always have something to say. But what they say does not define you. What defines you is what you do with your life. The energy you spend worrying about them, use it to build yourself. The time you spend analyzing their moves, use it to improve your own. Remember, success is not about being better than someone else. It is about being better than who you were yesterday. If today you are stronger, wiser, more patient than yesterday, then you are already winning. Focus on yourself and watch how your mind grows, how your heart finds peace, and how your life transforms. When you focus on your own growth instead of constantly looking at others, your mind flourishes in ways you never imagined. Many people spend their lives watching what others are doing, comparing their progress and feeling discouraged because someone else seems ahead. But the reality is, the more you focus on them, the more you neglect yourself. Your energy is divided, your peace is disturbed, and your growth is stunted because your attention is in the wrong place. Think about a plan. If you plant a seed and keep digging it up to check if it's growing, it will never take root properly. But if you water it, nurture it, and give it the right environment, it will grow into something strong and beautiful. Your mind works the same way. When you invest time in yourself, when you focus on your own development, your thoughts become clearer, your confidence grows, and you start seeing progress in your life. But if you are always looking at someone else's journey, wondering why they are ahead, you will never have the patience to nurture your own growth. One of the biggest traps people fall into is comparison. You see someone succeeding, and instead of being inspired, you feel inadequate. You look at their achievements and think, why not me? But you forget that their success did not happen overnight. They have their struggles, their battles, and their efforts that you do not see. If you keep focusing on others, you miss out on the work you need to do on yourself. Growth happens when you are committed to your own path, not when you are distracted by someone else's. Focusing on yourself does not mean ignoring people or being selfish. It means being aware of where your energy is going. Every minute you spend thinking about someone else's progress is a minute you could have spent improving yourself. Every time you compare your journey to theirs, you lose sight of your own blessings. You have your own strengths, your own potential, and your own unique path. But if you are too busy looking outside, you will never realize what you have inside. Your mind is powerful, but it needs the right environment to grow. When you constantly worry about what others are doing, you fill your mind with negativity, doubt, and frustration. But when you shift that focus to yourself, you start to see opportunities. You start to believe in your own abilities. You begin to build habits that strengthen you instead of drain you. Discipline, consistency, and self-reflection become your priorities. Instead of wasting time scrolling through other people's lives, you start using that time to learn, to develop skills, to work on your mindset. You begin to set goals, not based on what others are doing, but based on what you truly want. And when you are focused on your own growth, you stop feeling the need to prove yourself to others. You become content with your progress, no matter how slow it may seem. The truth is, there will always be someone ahead of you, and there will always be someone behind you. If you keep chasing after people, you will never feel at peace. But when you focus on being better than who you were yesterday, you start moving forward with purpose. You stop feeling threatened by other people's success because you understand that their success does not take anything away from you. Instead of feeling jealous, you feel motivated. Instead of feeling discouraged, you feel empowered. People will always have opinions about you. They will always have something to say. If you live your life based on their judgments, you will never truly grow. But when you focus on yourself, on your own journey, their opinions lose power over you. You become stronger, more confident, and more in control of your own life. Your mind flourishes when you take care of it. When you stop feeding it with unnecessary worries, when you stop polluting it with doubts and comparisons, it becomes a place of strength. You start thinking differently. You start making decisions that align with your purpose. You start attracting the right opportunities because your energy is no longer scattered. The more you focus on yourself, the more you realize that success is not a race. It is not about being first. It is about being consistent. It is about making daily improvements, no matter how small. It is about building a mindset that is unshakable, a heart that is content, and a life that is fulfilling. Many people spend their entire lives seeking validation from others, believing that their worth is determined by how people perceive them. They measure their success based on how much approval they receive, and they allow the opinions of others to dictate their happiness. But the truth is, the moment you start chasing validation, you lose control over your own life. Your actions become driven by what others will say rather than what truly matters to you. When you constantly seek approval, you give people power over your emotions. If they praise you, you feel good. If they criticize you, you feel worthless. This creates a cycle where your confidence is never stable, because it depends on something you cannot control. People's opinions change. One day they support you, the next day they criticize you. If you live for their validation, you will always be running after something that is never consistent. The problem with seeking validation is that it takes you away from your true purpose. Instead of focusing on what is right for you, you start making decisions based on what will please others. You start dressing, speaking, and even thinking in ways that are designed to gain approval. You lose touch with who you really are, because you are more concerned with fitting in than with growing into the best version of yourself. The moment you stop seeking validation, you free yourself from unnecessary pressure. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself to everyone. You no longer waste energy worrying about what they think. Instead, you focus on doing what is right, even if it is not popular. You focus on what brings you peace rather than what brings you attention. When you constantly worry about people's opinions, you end up living a life that is not truly yours. You hesitate to take risks because you fear failure and judgment. You hold back from expressing your true thoughts because you are afraid of criticism. You remain in situations that make you unhappy because you do not want to disappoint others. But in the process, you disappoint yourself. The reality is, no matter what you do, people will always have something to say. If you succeed, some will admire you and some will envy you. If you fail, some will support you and some will mock you. If you try to please one group, another group will criticize you. There is no way to win when your happiness depends on external validation. The only way to truly win is to detach yourself from the need for approval. Your value is not determined by likes, compliments, or the number of people who agree with you. Your value comes from within. It is in your character, your effort, and your principles. It is in the way you treat others, in the way you handle challenges, and in the way you remain true to yourself even when no one is watching. When you stop seeking validation, you gain confidence in your decisions. You trust yourself more. You become comfortable standing alone if necessary. You do what is right, not what is popular. You begin to realize that the only approval you truly need is from yourself. If you can look in the mirror and be proud of who you are, then no amount of criticism can shake you. Another danger of seeking validation is that it makes you easily manipulated. People know that you crave approval, so they use it to control you. They make you feel guilty for making choices that benefit you. They pressure you into doing things you are uncomfortable with just so you can gain their acceptance. But when you stop seeking validation, you take back your power. You no longer allow guilt or pressure to dictate your actions. You make choices based on what is right for you, not on what others expect from you. People often fear losing validation because they equate it with loneliness. They believe that if they stop pleasing others, they will be left alone. But the truth is, when you stop seeking approval, you attract the right people into your life. People who respect you for who you truly are. not for who you pretend to be. The ones who leave were never meant to stay. The ones who remain are the ones who truly value you. Your time and energy are precious. Do not waste them chasing approval from people who will never be satisfied. Instead, invest that energy into becoming better, stronger, and wiser. Develop your skills, build your mindset, and live a life that is true to you. The less you depend on external validation, the more at peace you will be. That many people waste their energy constantly comparing themselves to others. They measure their success based on someone else's timeline and feel discouraged when they see others achieving things they have not yet reached. This habit drains mental energy, creates unnecessary stress, and leads to feelings of inadequacy. Instead of focusing on self-improvement, they spend their time analyzing what others are doing, forgetting that everyone's journey is different. When energy is spent on comparison, growth becomes difficult. The mind becomes cluttered with negative thoughts, self-doubt, and unrealistic expectations. Instead of working on personal goals, time is wasted worrying about things that are beyond control. This not only slows down progress, but also leads to frustration and resentment. The reality is that no two people have the same path in life. Everyone has different strengths, challenges, and circumstances. Comparing one's journey to another's is like comparing the sun and the moon. Both shine, but at different times. One of the biggest problems with comparison is that it is never ending. The moment one goal is reached, there will always be someone who has achieved more. This cycle creates a constant feeling of being behind, even when real progress is being made. Instead of celebrating personal victories, the focus remains on what is lacking. This mindset steals joy and prevents true appreciation for one's own achievements. The only way to break free from this is to shift the focus inward and use energy to improve rather than compare. Energy is a limited resource. Every day, decisions are made on where to invest it. Spending energy on comparison means there is less energy for things that actually matter, like personal growth, learning new skills, and building meaningful relationships. The more time spent watching others, the less time is spent improving oneself. The most successful people are not those who constantly look at others, but those who stay focused on their own path and keep moving forward. Instead of looking at others with jealousy or doubt, a better approach is to learn from them. If someone has achieved success, it is a sign that success is possible. Their journey can serve as inspiration rather than a source of insecurity. By observing their habits, mindset, and discipline, valuable lessons can be learned. However, the goal should never be to become exactly like someone else, but rather to become the best version of oneself. Social media has made comparison even worse. People only share their best moments, their achievements, and their successes. What is not shown are the struggles, failures, and difficulties behind the scenes. When scrolling through endless posts of people seemingly living perfect lives, it is easy to feel behind. But in reality, every person has challenges that are not visible to the outside world. The key is to remember that social media is not real life. It is a highlight reel, not the full picture. Progress should be measured by personal improvement, not by comparison to others. The real question should not be, am I better than them, but rather, am I better than who I was yesterday? Small steps taken consistently led to significant results over time. Even the smallest improvement is still progress. Focusing on daily growth rather than competition allows for a more fulfilling and meaningful journey. Worrying about what others are doing often leads to self-doubt. Thoughts like, I am not good enough, or he will never reach their level become common. But these thoughts are distractions. They serve no purpose other than to create unnecessary fear. Instead of focusing on what others have accomplished, the focus should be on personal strengths, abilities, and the unique value that can be offered to the world. Everyone has a purpose, and it is not defined by someone else's success. Another downside of comparison is that it can lead to procrastination. When too much time is spent analyzing others, less time is spent taking action. Doubt turns into hesitation, and hesitation turns into inaction. Progress is only made when steps are taken, no matter how small they may seem. The more energy invested in action, the less power comparison has. The most powerful way to break free from comparison is gratitude. When gratitude becomes the focus, the mind shifts from what is missing to what is already present. Appreciating personal strengths, progress, and opportunities creates a positive mindset. Gratitude turns what is already available into enough, reducing the need to constantly look at what others have. Instead of chasing someone else's success, true fulfillment comes from recognizing and valuing one's own journey. Success is often misunderstood as a competition with others, where the goal is to be ahead of everyone else. This mindset creates unnecessary pressure, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. True success is not about surpassing someone else. It is about becoming a better version of who you were yesterday. The only real competition is with yourself. Each day presents an opportunity to improve, learn, and grow. Small progress, even if unnoticed by others, is still progress. Focusing on personal growth rather than comparison brings a sense of fulfillment. When the focus is on outdoing others, happiness depends on external factors. If someone else achieves more, it leads to frustration. If they struggle, it brings temporary satisfaction. But this is a cycle that never ends. When the focus shifts inward, success becomes about personal achievements, habits, and mindset. This creates a journey that's sustainable and rewarding. Growth happens in stages, and each person's journey is different. What matters is not how fast progress is made, but that progress is happening at all. Some days will be filled with motivation and success, while others will feel slow and challenging. What matters is consistency. Every small effort adds up over time, even if the results are not immediately visible. Success is not measured by giant leaps, but by the steady steps taken every day. When the goal is to be better than yesterday, failure is no longer something to fear. It becomes a lesson, a stepping stone toward improvement. Mistakes are no longer signs of defeat, but opportunities to learn. Instead of being discouraged by setbacks, they become motivation to adjust, refine, and try again. Each challenge faced with the right mindset strengthens character and builds resilience. Self-discipline is key to personal growth. It requires making choices that align with long-term goals rather than short-term comfort. It means setting priorities, staying consistent, and avoiding distractions that do not contribute to progress. Success is built through daily habits. Small positive actions done repeatedly over time lead to significant transformation. Reading, learning, practicing, and refining skills every day create a foundation for long-term success. Mindset plays a crucial role in growth. A person who believes they can improve will find ways to do so. Those who constantly doubt themselves will hold themselves back. Confidence is not about thinking success is guaranteed, but about knowing that effort and persistence will lead to progress. Every expert was once a beginner. Every successful person had moments of doubt. What sets them apart is their decision to keep going despite challenges. Patience is essential. Growth does not happen overnight. Just like a tree takes time to bear fruit, personal development requires commitment. Expecting instant results leads to frustration. Progress often happens gradually, and the benefits are seen over time. Trusting the process and staying consistent with daily efforts leads to long-term success. Focusing on becoming better than yesterday also reduces stress. When attention is on self-improvement rather than external competition, there is less pressure to meet unrealistic expectations. Progress is based on personal goals and values, not on what others expect. This creates a healthier mindset where success is defined by personal fulfillment rather than social approval. Developing emotional strength is part of self-improvement. Handling criticism, dealing with setbacks, and maintaining focus despite distractions require mental resilience. Strengthening the mind through self-reflection, learning from experiences, and staying committed to growth builds confidence. Emotional intelligence plays a major role in long-term success, helping in decision-making, relationships, and overall well-being. Adapting to change is an important part of growth. The world is constantly evolving, and those who are willing to learn and adjust will continue progressing. Being open to new ideas, embracing challenges, and staying flexible in the face of change leads to continuous improvement. The goal is not to reach a final destination, but to keep evolving and expanding potential. Surrounding yourself with the right influences makes a difference. People who encourage growth, challenge perspectives, and inspire positive action contribute to success. Avoiding negative influences that drain energy or discourage progress is essential. Environment plays a key role in shaping habits, mindset, and overall direction in life. Tracking progress helps maintain motivation. Reflecting on past achievements, recognizing improvements, and setting new goals create a sense of purpose. Growth is not always noticeable on a daily basis, but looking back at past efforts reveals how far progress has been made. Acknowledging small wins builds confidence and reinforces positive habits. Discipline, patience, and self-reflection are essential elements of success. Staying focused on personal progress rather than external validation leads to a more fulfilling and meaningful journey. Progress is made through small, consistent efforts, learning from failures, and maintaining a mindset of continuous improvement.